Test. Friday, April 11, 2025. Welcome. Ayiti Organic 1804, and the Ayiti Organic Experience. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the tariff, the Tariff Act of 1890, and how that Tariff Act of 1890 helped the United States make a lot of money, and at the same time, in Haiti, we were going through a diplomatic situation with Germany. Yes, the Germans, the ones we gave citizenship to, of course. So the Tariff Act of 1890, commonly called the McKinley Tariff, was an act of the United States Congress framed by Representative William McKinley, which became law on October 1st, 1890. This tariff raised the average cost on imports to almost 50%, and this increase was designed to protect domestic industries and workers from foreign competition, like Germany at that time, as promised in the Republican platform. Okay, because during this time, America and Germany, they were allies, but at the same time, there was kind of like the way we were in China, right? Because we're allied, we were close with China, but now with all of these tariffs, it's about to get, it's about to get different, about to get real serious. So this style of tariffs represents protectionism, and it is a policy supported by Republicans and denounced by Democrats. Protectionism in economics refers to policies aimed at shielding domestic industries from foreign competition through measures like tariffs, quotas, and other trade barriers. In regards to the government, protectionism restricts international trade to help domestic industries. Just how you guys see what's going on right now with Trump and all of these tariffs, right? He's now going to be forcing countries to come back inside of America to build their warehouse, to build, it's like some mafia stuff. Hold on. Yeah, as I was saying, it's just like some mafioso, Don Corleone. That's what my nigga Trump is doing right now. It's like some Don Corleone thing, forcing people to just, because right now he's removing these billions of dollars of profits that China was making off of the United States. Now he trying to take that money, and it's mafioso. It is what it is, right? I mean, I'm not from Hong Kong, so I don't give a shit. I mean, if you are one of these people that you like Team China or whatever, then that's cool. But I ain't from over there. I don't speak the language, so I don't even know what's going on. But Trump, he's following William McKinley, and I gotta tell you guys about William McKinley, because William McKinley, he wasn't like an ally of Haiti, all right. And it's funny, he got killed. He got murdered after. They assassinated him September 14, 1901. He was president from March 4, 1897. No, that can't be right. Yeah, 1897. Yeah, to September 14, 1901. Yeah, they murdered him in a barbershop. But he was the 25th president of the United States. 25. Me and the angel numbers. And 25, and 2025. McKinley was a member of the Republican Party. He was his astrological sign was he was an Aquarius, because he was born January 29, 1843, and he was the guy that kind of made the Republican Party popping again during that time, because he made the Republican Party very rich. he brought a lot of money because of the tariffs. He led the United States in the Spanish-American War, which was April 20th to December 10, 1898. And that's when the United States basically removed Spain from the area. And he established a protectorate over Cuba, which means in the context of international relations, Cuba became like a temporary state under the protection of the U.S. for defense against aggression and other violations of law from any other country. Because again, around 1898, going up to 1900, 1901, Germany was becoming like an enemy for the United States. Just how we're going to be going through it with China, right? So you got to pay attention. So during this expansionism and, the United States is doing what they're doing, what's going on in Haiti? All right. So during the late 19th century, we saw the rise of two political parties in Ayiti. We had the Liberal Party, which was represented by the mulatto elites. And we also had the National Party, aligned with the black majority, the black businessmen, black military. The Liberal Party was founded on February 19, 1870, by Jean-Pierre Boyer and Edmond Paul, and it was a economical liberal political party that advocated for technocratic leadership, well embodied in its motto, government by the most competent. That was their thing. You had to be competent to play the role. And during this time, it was mostly, there was blacks also in this party, but it was the majority mulatto. It was mulatto class. That's who was really, on this side. And then the National Party was the opposite. This is when you had the black nationalists, where you had someone like Septimus Rameau, all right? He founded the party same time in the 1870s. And this is while there was a reorganization of the country. Because prior to this, there was a civil war in Haiti where, we was fighting each other, the blacks and the mulattoes, okay? The first succession was President Jean-Nicolas Nisage. Hopefully I said that right. He peacefully handed power over to his fellow National Black Party member, Michel Domingue. I'm butchering the name. Hold on. Yeah, Michel Domingue. And the thing with Michel Domingue, he had a coup d'état, okay? Because the liberals, the mulattoes, they felt like he wasn't competent enough. He was kind of like a military guy, but they felt like he was incompetent enough to be president, and they kicked his ass out. You know what I'm saying? I believe he was overthrown by Pierre Thomas Boiron Canal. I believe that was his name. Pierre Thomas Boiron Canal. And he was basically, he was basically a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say gangster, he didn't play no games. And when he took power, right? It's like they had their own civil war in their group. Okay? So once he took power, right? Once he took over power, the liberal mulatto group, they became increasingly divided because he had his group, And of course, it's like those different factions coming into play. Now, while all of this is going on, remember, we're still having to be affected by the tariffs McKinley is putting into place, right? Um, so who came into power after? We had Lüders Salomon. Lüders Salomon, he was from the other side, National Party. And during his time of power, things kind of calmed down. Okay. He actually served from 1879 to 1888. So, you know, during this time, things was, there was some kind of monetary reform, cultural renaissance. But once he started to try to extend the power, then we fell back into civil war. Now, Florville Hippolyte, 1889 to 1896, he eventually reunified the country. He reunified Haiti. And again, we had a time of stability. We had a time of stability. But then his successor, Desirus Simon Sam, he went through some problems. His time in power was straight turmoil. Because again, the tariffs in America, countries like Haiti, we had to build our economy. We couldn't depend on anyone else. So from 1897 to 1901, while the United States was controlling the territory with its tariffs, Haiti, under President Desirus Simon Sam, experienced a period marked by issues with Germany. Okay? So the Germans, and this is so funny because, like I said, we gave the Germans citizenship. Emperor Dessalines gave the Germans citizenship, and we ended up having a really, really big issue with Germany. So we had something called the Lüders affair, and the Lüders affair highlighted strained relations with Germany and other outside powers, and in our country, since the beginning of time, since the beginning, Haiti became a republic. So on September 21st, 1897, Haitian police were looking for this guy. His name was Dolores Présumé. He was a thief, accused thief. They found him in Port-au-Prince with his employer, this German. Okay, he was actually a Haitian, but he was a Haitian German, meaning his parents was German, but he was born in Haiti. And since the Germans, they already had citizenship in Haiti, some of them used that to their advantage, of course. So, let me see, on September 12th, 1897, Haitian police were looking for it. They found them. So now they were arrested by the police. They called them police tribunal for 1 month imprisonment for assault and battery. They appealed to the correction tribunal, but they were also charged again for using force, resisting arrest, fighting back with the police. So then the original sentence was annulled, and on October 14th, they were sentenced to an additional year. So once they were, charged that additional year, that's when shit got crazy. That's when everything got hot. Lüders and his family, who, he was previously sentenced before for battery on a soldier, and there was witnesses. All right, there was witnesses. The witnesses were other Germans, French, other people from that class. So the German charge d'affaires, or the ambassador for Germany, Count Schwerin, however you say his name, Schwerin, he demanded the immediate release of Lüders, who was, like I said, born in Haiti. They said that his father was German, and as well as the removal of the judges, dismissal of the police officers involved in the case, and responding to the intervention was the American representative at the time, W.F. Powell, who told President Sam to immediately pardon Lüders and, who had to leave the country. On December 6, 1897, two German warships anchored in the harbor of Port-au-Prince without notifying Haitian authorities, nothing. And basically came like on warfare. It was like an act of war. And during that time, the Haitian people, they were getting ready to defend Haiti from Germany. This is called the Lüders Affair. Luders Affair. Affair. You can Google it, check it out. Maybe this will be the title of my YouTube. I didn't know what the YouTube title would be. The Lüders Affair Tariffs, whatever, gotta have a title. So anyway, this was a very, humiliating thing for President Sam, because he was a president of the people, he was from the National Party, the Black Party, and he basically had to bow down in a sense, okay? Germany wanted compensation in the amount of $20,000 for Lüders, a promise that Lüders could return to Ayiti, a letter of apology to the German government, a 21-gun salute to the German flag, a reception for the German charge d'affaires, and 4 hours to decide. This is, they just came and said, this is what we want. Hurry up and make it happen. And the United States was telling Haiti, yo, hurry up and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have no friends. I tell people all the time, I voted for Trump because, Trump is Revelations 16:16. He's here to blow everything up, and hopefully Ayiti can gain from what's coming. The Haitian government yielded to the distress of its people, who were preparing to defend their national honor, their country, from Germany. Allemagne. Can you imagine? I think we should have, and this is when you see the country don't have no real representatives, we should have removed the German, we should have removed the Germans out of the Constitution. Basically. We should have removed that right that they had, because it was Poland, it was the Polish and the Germans. That's who the Emperor, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, that's who he gave the rights of citizenship to. So they all were Haitian. But, once this thing popped off, I would have just removed the Germans, and they would have just probably been guests. They wouldn't have been on the Constitution. I know that sounds a little bit, extreme, but sometimes you have to give like a counterattack to an extreme action. The fact that the Germans came with those ships, that basically showed no respect to the country. So they were horrified to see the white flag, despite the French ambassador saying don't do it. And Solon Menos, foreign minister of Haiti at the time, fought a diplomatic war with members of the Lüders family in Haiti, and was the subject of an action of defamation by two German officials. He went through it trying to defend the country. So, when in regards to tariffs, just like how it happened with McKinley, there was so much other crazy things going on around the world, you know? And again, I always say it, history always repeats itself. You know, you have to just follow history and you'll see, like before I go, McKinley, he was assassinated. Now, some people say, uh, he was assassinated by this guy called Leon Strauss. Actually, it would be Leon Chol Goz. It's a weird ass name. But he was an unemployed mill worker and self proclaimed anarchist who believed McKinley was an enemy of the people. But really, some say McKinley was killed because he was going against the banks. He supported a revision of the banking and currency system, favoring gold, silver standards, and ultimately endorsing legislation that established gold as the basis, or silver too, for the redemption of this paper money that the banks were, hustling to the population. And usually, once you start to go after the banks, that's when they come and get you. En tout cas, si nous remen informasyon sa yo, voun ti ba pou mwen. Hmm? Voun ti Cash App, voun ti Zelle, PayPal. If you want to send me more cash, send me some money. To show some appreciation, I'll take 20s, 50s, 100s. All right? All the information will be placed right here. You can send me Cash App at Ayiti Organic. You can Zelle me at Ayiti Organic LLC. You can send me a PayPal at ayitiorganic@gmail.com. Those are the three main payments right now. Or if you ever see me in the streets, you just put something in my pocket. This is what gives more of a push and motivation for me to continue and give you some of this nice information. Anyway, Ayiti Organic, Ayiti Organic, Ayiti Organic, Ayiti Organic Experience, Ayiti Organic 1804. Log on to the link tree, Ayiti Organic, buy a shirt, subscribe and follow the YouTube channel. Follow me at Instagram, Ayiti Organic, TikTok, Ayiti Organic 1804. En tout cas, allez, Guinée, Guinée, Boussal, Boussal, aïe,